This post I dedicate and I present it and post it to my children. This post is of walking around the house and just thinking about the times, thinking about the message that I have that is so important. And I was just thinking, if I go to bed tonight and I don't wake up again, what message would I most of all would have wanted to share with each of you? A message that was balanced, a message that was equal amongst you. And I could only think of those things that I have learned about life, that I have hoped for, that I've spent so many years trying to advocate and in my small way cause a change that would affect all of us. And that includes you, your other halves, the whole community. I call the rest of the people that are kind of old like me, I call them our uncles and aunts. All of them, though we don't know their name, you just look at them and they look like me, old uncles and aunts. And if they're young generations, like you guys, and we call them your cousins. So we got a whole big world of uncles and aunts and cousins all across the land, black and white, all nationalities, all shades. They belong to us. I'm telling you these things, my children, because it is absolutely essential that you accept this as fact. These are what I have found to be some keys to life. So much so that one would commit their lives to it, but they have to see it to be real. So when I think about what is important to you, I want to say that there is a God. Now, some of you have my stories about the miracles that substantiate that reality. But there is a God. Now, I want you to understand that for my relationship, God is not a person. Now, God is not a person. You might see God in a book, but that's altogether something to do with nothing. God is a power. You can't see God. You can call it spiritual. But the evidence of all existence is God. Now you're going to find throughout this society and the societies to come that people are going to always try to disprove that there's a God. They're going to say that people associated ignorance for things that they didn't understand as being something divine, God. But science will, as time passes, substantiate, will identify, qualify, and people will have the truth about existence. And I just want to say to my children and all my aunts and all my uncles and cousins that God is the author of science. So everything that they find, they're just discovering what God already knows. And what does God already know? All existence. Now, I don't want to preach, but the reason I want you to know that there is a God, a spiritual God, whatever you understand God to be, allow that God to live in you. Allow whatever you understand God to be, allow that God to live in you. And when I say allow it to live in you, I mean be the physical representation of that God. There is no one above you, anywhere, anywhere. And there's no one beneath you, anywhere, anywhere. We are equal in all. We are human. We are. So I want you to always remember that. I don't care what the government is. As long as the government is righteous and good and works for the people, for our uncles and our aunts and our cousins, all of them. As long as it's good, we go along with it. We support it because it represents us as well. But in those areas where they cause pain and suffering, we don't support any of that. We become light by representing what it means according to the God that's in us. Now, I realize that the God that's in us is going to be kind of different at different levels. And someone would say, well, what God are we going to stand if we all got different gods? Because we might all have different gods, but as long as we got the kind of God, the real God, the God of righteousness, the God of love, what is that? That is the God that is the Father, the power of every human being on the face of the earth, who has put all of the resources that are used to make sure that we have the food, the clothing, the shelter, the education, the health care, and the infrastructure, and all that exists by the hands of man, made possible that those resources are there. And that we as human beings, all of us, uncles and brothers, and cousins, and aunts, that we may be able to play a part in the creation, in the part of the manifestation, in that which we have been given to do that give us our greatest joy. My sons and my daughters, I want you to hear me. Hear me. I'm not lying to you. That we may engage ourselves in the creative process, and by doing that, that make us part owners of the universe. Everything that we do, everything that's been done by man belongs to us. And we don't accept the game of being played. We are not dumb. We were dumb once, but we are not dumb anymore. And because we recognize that others have not come to this way of understanding, that's beside the point. We are now standing, listen, my sisters, listen, my aunts, my brothers, my cousins, most of all my children. We are not going to squash the light. The truth is the light. If you know the truth, and how are you going to know it? This is what makes us nice. We care about everybody. Now, many of you might say, well, how can you say you care about everybody, Dad, when you didn't even care about me? Let me tell you this. I know what it means to feel that way. I have felt that way. But I also know what it feels to be a dad who has never done anything for any of his children except committed his life to make sure that whatever they are enduring today, that they will not have to endure tomorrow, because you commit your life to make a change. Not just for your kids, but for your kids. That's how important it is for your kids. And it's just that important for the whole entire world if it's led by the Spirit of the same God that pushes us forward. And I want you to understand, the government has its place, but the true government is the will of the people. The will of the people for the people, that it would protect the people and do all of those things that you know you want done. It's your voice. And your voice does not speak for some and in one way and others in another way. In other words, you got Social Security for the old people, or you got some. No. There's no crazy stuff like that. Our children, our aunts and our uncles and our cousins, all of us get the best care. Why? Because we do it to one another. We are doing it for one another. We're here to do it for one another. And we're going to change the world and make it that way. I'm counting on you. Right now you don't understand, but you just check my videos out if they still are allowed to be seen. I'll speak it clearly. And I'm going to stop. I want to say it like this. As you grow up, there's no power over you except what's good. Now, we're living in a world that does not understand or represent this. And I know, bottom line is this. Bottom line is this. If you're going to represent righteousness, you're going to go against the system. Because there's pain and suffering out there. Pain and suffering is not allowed under the umbrella of love. And it is our job, it is our responsibility to represent that. Because that's what God is. That's what God is. And I'm telling you that because I've learned that that's what God is. And if we let that live in us, we're concerned about all people. And when we're concerned about all people, we have no enemies. We can see forgiveness for all of the blindness in the world because we're standing up for it. We understand that we are the light. And when you say, well, my God in me doesn't take me that far, then you ask yourself this: what does your God do? Does it bless the whole world? Does it allow some pain? Does it bless the whole world? And if you see another that blessed the whole world, what does that mean by not causing any pain in the areas where you can see it? Then you've got to learn that it's time. You don't have to. When I say you got to learn, I'm saying that that's the way love grows. That's a song on love grows. That's the way love grows. Love is out there being loved. And when it sees brighter love, it's drawn and it becomes brighter and bolder itself. Now I'm telling you these things, and I'm going to leave these things with you as seeds. I know you are my children, from the oldest, Angie. That's my daughter. I love her so much. My oldest son, Marcus. Marcus. Maurice. Maurice could rap. Maurice was rapping. I remember one time Maurice had been in a school, in preschool, and I'd been dropping him off there every morning while I was going to work, and didn't know that they had a little program scheduled or something they had been working on. So one day I went there. They had this program. I went in there, and he was doing this little thing out that the group was performing off "Ring My Bell," and Maurice was dancing. I'm telling you, he blew my mind. I never seen him doing those kind of things like that. Anyway, just thought I'd share that about your brother. And then that's Mario. Now, Mario, how you doing? Mario tells me sometimes I'm gonna like you. He gets mad with me. But he's all right. And then there's Eddie Bernard. Now Eddie Bernard. Now these, let's see, Eddie Bernard and Joshua. Joshua is the youngest boy. And then there's Taylor Joy. And that's my next daughter. And then there's, I used to think Taylor was going to be just like me. You know, she watched everything I did, but Taylor, I guess she is just like me. She had to learn that I'm telling her this real stuff. She gets it, she's going to be on top of it. And then I got this other daughter, my baby girl, Reese Noel. Now I don't know, look like these girls are just like me. And these boys, they decide that they're just like me in that they're individuals. And these girls are individuals too. Well, I just say this, all of you guys, if you ever have daughters, love them. Why? Because you might need them to take care of you. These boys are going to keep on trying. Well, anyway, I want to say it's been a pleasure just getting the chance to share this moment with you. I hope I have not offended any of you. But I just want you to know, if I don't wake up tomorrow, I want you to know that the times I've gone to jail, the times I've been in prison, the times I've slept on the streets, the times I ran for president of the United States, or whether I was running for governor of Minnesota, or the mayor of Woodbury, St. Paul, or United States Senator from Minnesota. I always had you on my mind. I saw success. I saw when this thing came through, when the world began to open up and see that there's a better way to life, that all of us was just gonna live, and that was gonna be the greatest day of my life. I sure wanted to see it with you, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, I gave it my best shot. I love you. I'll wake up tomorrow.